What's up everyone, it's Aparicio, and today you're going to learn just how simple the Fusion page is in Davinci Resolve. This video will benefit the people that want to start to learn Fusion. So with that being said, let's get right into it. Alright, so you're going to be in your editor, right? To get over to the Fusion page, you're going to hover your playhead over a clip and you are just going to go click Fusion right here. Alright, here's the interface. Can maybe look a bit confusing, but it's not. It's pretty similar to the edit page. All right, so up here you have your media pool, your effects tab, and you can preview your clips at the bottom of the page here. And then over here we're gonna look at just the inspector right now. It's pretty much the same thing as like in the edit page, all right, where you can go and adjust certain effects. All right, so now you're gonna see two viewers. All right, this is your first viewer, this is your second viewer. And pretty much what that is if you go ahead and click 1 on your media in 1, it will show you the condition of your clip coming in from the edit page. So this is just how your clip looks right out of the edit page, and that is what this node is for, media in 1. And then if you click 2 over your media out 1, this will be how your clip is going to look after you do what you need to do in the Fusion page. You'll notice that it's kind of a free-flowing workspace down here. This is going to be your node workspace. You're going to be working a lot with, obviously, nodes. This is what you will be working with in the Fusion page. You have to get used to it. That's how it is. And you can also click these little dots here in between media out 1 and media in 1. And these are going to be beneath all nodes you put here. And this is just saying, I want this to be previewed on my left viewer, or I want this to be previewed on my right viewer. So I'm going to keep this at 1 and I'm going to keep this at 2. Remember, you can click 2 on your keyboard or 1 on your keyboard. So remember guys, everything that happens right here is the sauce that you're going to be adding to the clip. Remember, because there's a lot of different things you could do in Fusion. There's motion graphics, keying, green screen, there's rotoscoping, edit different 3D objects. Keep that in mind. This is a really deep page, super deep. So up here, you're gonna notice these little buttons up here. And these are just the most commonly used nodes that you can put into your pipeline here. These are the ones you're gonna probably use most often, and that's why they're displayed here. This is not the only amount of nodes you have. So right now, I'm just going to drag a blur into my pipeline. I'm gonna hold it out up here. You're gonna let go. Go ahead and click an empty space, and you can also hit Shift Space, and this is gonna bring down all your nodes. All right, so this is everything. So you can scroll down, you could see there's so many effects. It's actually kind of crazy. It's actually kind of scary, but it's not, but it is. But this is something to get excited about, is my point. I'm having a hard time getting my point across. Anyway, so let's go ahead and click our blur and delete it, backspace, or click delete. And then we're gonna click here on media in 1 and hit Shift Space, and then we're gonna type in blur, and then you're gonna click add, and it's gonna add it after the media in 1 because we had it selected. We are going to put up the blur size here in the inspector, and now you can see that this viewer is showing our clip coming in here from the timeline, from our edit page, as I should say. And in the media out, it is kind of previewing after everything we did in between. So that's pretty much how simple the Fusion page is. Now we are going to go through kind of creating this text behind person effect. We're gonna get into some keyframes. Go ahead and click media in 1, and I would say get used to hitting Shift Space and just searching for your nodes. That's what I got used to. So we're gonna search for magic mask. This is gonna be only available in the studio version, but if you have the free version, I would suggest you follow along and see how this is done. You could use the polygon tool here to cut her out if you don't have the magic mask. So you would add the polygon and kind of cut her out of the frame, and it'll work the same. So with the magic masks, you know how they work. You just kind of draw around your subject, and Davinci will do the rest on cutting her out, right? What we're gonna do is We see this here, it kind of messed up, so we're going to click subtract, and we're just going to draw some more lines around her hair. Make sure this selection is pretty perfect. And then you can also, where is it at? Go to map and blur it a little bit so it kind of blends in. And then we're going to kind of erode, bring that down a little bit. We're just going to refine our mask. And then there is a mode here. It's going to say faster or better. We're going to do faster because this isn't a complex shot. It's not going to take a lot for Resolve to just easily cut this out, but you would use better if you need it to be more efficient. It will take up more computing power though. And then I am going to track back and forth. All right, so while this is tracking back and forth, I want to point out these two yellow markers here, and these are our in and out points. All right, and if you hold down your middle mouse button, you can scroll back and forth. Okay, so it's done tracking, but if I go behind this yellow marker, this is just showing everything that I cut out in the edit page here. So it's kind of representing this. All right, let me undo and go back to Fusion. All right, so if we scroll through, we see we have our cutout, okay? And now what you're gonna do is, so go ahead and drag up your magic mask. And I'm gonna go right here. This is where your merge node is gonna be. This is where you can merge effects. And then while we're here, let me point out that this yellow kind of pointer here, arrow going into the merge node, that's going to be your background input. And then the green is going to be your foreground input, okay? And then the blue is for like masks and stuff. Okay, so we're going to put this into the background point of our merge node. And if you click on any point of the connector here, you can kind of get rid of it. And we're gonna drag this point onto the foreground of our merge. And then we're gonna take this from our merge, put it into the background of Media Out 1. And what this is gonna do is it kind of allowed us to stack our magic mask on top of our original image. So that way we can add something in between. So what we're gonna do is drag these over here. And then I hope you have a mouse. I hope you're editing with a mouse. I hope you're editing with a mouse. You can click the scroll wheel and you can kind of scroll on through here. And if you bring this up too far, it'll show you kind of your borders here in this little graphic. So you can get kind of organized like that. Scroll up and down. And then if you hold Control or Command, you can zoom in and out with the scroll wheel. Now what we're gonna do is, I want you to bring in another merge node. And if you hover over here, you can kind of let go and it'll be put right in there. And then you're gonna grab a text node. It's gonna be like a basic text node. And you're going to connect this to this foreground point. And then let's type in Fusion. Okay, I'm gonna increase the size right here. And now as you can see, and we have our text kind of behind our magic mask. Okay, so you can kind of see this as layers because we have our original image, this, and then we have our text, okay, and then we have our mask that we created, her cut out. Okay, so now it's kind of, our text right here is merging in between our original image and our mask. And then we have our media out where everything just goes right out. You can kind of visualize it like that. It's not completely like layers. It's a little bit more complex, but that's an easy way to visualize these easy node structures. I don't really want to give you another analogy. There's like a million analogies out there for nodes. They're all good, but they're all a little different, so I don't want to confuse you that way. And we can change the font if you want. I'll do it just for style. Size a little bit bigger. If yours is acting a little bit laggy, you can right click here and check off of high quality. So this is cool, right? But let's add a little bit more flair, a little bit more sauce, okay? In between the text and the merge node, we are going to add a blur. So type in blur. There we go. You can also grab blur from right here. So you're gonna click on the text node, all right, first. And what we're gonna do is we're gonna go to the beginning here, which is this yellow point, our endpoint. And I'm going to mess with the tracking here, all right? So I'm gonna put the tracking all the way up here to start. And we are going to keyframe this into the frame. So I'm gonna hit this keyframe here. And I'm gonna drag along here. And probably right there when she stares to the camera, it's kind of scary, it's intense. That's where I will put this back down to where I want it to be. This is good. That's where my keyframe will end. So we play it. Boom. Now to make things more interesting, what you can do is click on blur here. All right, and we're gonna go to where we have our text visible, and we're gonna put the blur size all the way up. And let's go ahead and go to the beginning of our clip. And we're going to click this keyframe, and right around when the clips are fully merged together, we're going to drag this blur size all the way back up to make the text visible again. And as you can see, we created this cool little effect. But it's kind of abrupt, right? It's kind of harsh the way it comes in. It's not smooth. What can we do about it in the Fusion page? Check this out. All right, so you're gonna go and you're going to click on Spline here. All right, and I'm gonna move this way, middle mouse button, and I'm gonna check mark on text. All right, you can click your middle mouse button and move back and forth here. Hold control, and you can scroll in and out, and you can see our keyframes we added to our text. All right, we're gonna click on a point here, and we're going to add smooth to it. And now it eases in smoothly, as you can see. And then we're gonna click this point down here. I'm gonna click smooth, and it kind of eases out, or ease in, ease out. So now it makes our keyframes very smooth, and we can do the same thing to our blur. If we go ahead and check it, we can see our blur is green here. The green line represents our blur. Click a point, click smooth, click the other point, click smooth. As you can see, everything comes in super smooth. It's no longer kind of ugly looking, as I would put it. And then when you're done with that, you can click off Spline. And there's also a keyframe window that you can click on. And this is where you could do additional editing to your keyframes. I will make a separate video about that, but there's a lot of control with keyframes in Fusion as well. And now we're gonna add our final touch of sauce to this clip. Click an empty space to deselect everything. Go ahead and click Shift Space, Shift Space. And we're going to add drop shadow, okay? Go ahead and click add, okay? And then you're gonna hold Shift and let go, drop it in. Okay, now we have a shadow back here, and now it just looks even better. With the drop angle, obviously follow the light in the shot. The light is coming from her left side, our right side, and the shadow is reflecting to the left. So that's what we're gonna do with the text. Make it a little more solid, the distance a little further, and there we go. That's something you can add to your clip, make it look even better. You want this Fusion text to exit. Go ahead and put your marker here at the end, somewhere near the end, and click on text, and we're going to go to tracking. We're going to hit another keyframe, and then we're going to drag to the end of our clip, and I'm going to put the tracking all the way up, and that will happen at the end, as you can see. So you can see our text here. So remember when we had our text attached to the merge without the blur and the drop shadow, it was pretty basic. But when we add the blur here, the drop shadow here, we're pretty much saying, okay, before the text gets to this merge node here, I want a few things to happen to it. And that's pretty much what you're doing there. And if you remember, it's still in between our original clip, which is represented by media in 1, and it is behind our mask that we created. All right, so keep that in mind. And the media out is gonna send out this image we have in our second viewer back into the edit page. Now I hope you know at least 10% of Fusion if you knew 0% before, or maybe this was a good refresher. Like and subscribe for weekly Davinci Resolve videos. I don't think you're gonna wanna miss it. That's me being honest. With that being said, thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.